Solani is accompanied tonight by his father, his mother Lota Tonga, and his brother Will Tonga. Ladies and gentlemen, Solani Tonga. Next up, wide receiver Elijah Dahlman. Elijah accompanied by his mother Andrea and his father James Dahlman. He's a Hawk Helmet Award recipient for playing all 4 years at Mountlake Terrace. Ladies and gentlemen, Elijah Dahlman. Defensive back Kobe Davis, accompanied by Chanel Thorne. Ladies and gentlemen, Kobe Davis. Next up, offensive and defensive lineman Eddie Dojin. He is accompanied by Yoshimi and Greg Dodgen. Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Dodgen. Next up, linebacker and running back Ethan Dune. Ethan was second team all-conference at tight end in 2019 and is accompanied by Deborah and John Dune. Ethan Dune, everyone. Next up, offensive and defensive lineman Caden Hickson. Caden is accompanied tonight by Christy Hickson. Caden Hickson, everyone. Coming up, defensive lineman Donovan Manley. Donovan is accompanied tonight by Karen and Justin Manley. Donovan Manley, everyone. Next up, linebacker and tight end Jay Nath. Nath was an all-conference linebacker in 2019. Is accompanied tonight by Sonia and Pankai. Jay Nath, everyone. Defensive lineman Darian Richardson. Darian is accompanied tonight by Jill and Darwin Richardson. Darian Richardson, everyone. Kicker and defensive lineman Jordy Rodriguez. Jordy is accompanied tonight by Desi and Lisette. Jordy Rodriguez, everyone. Last but certainly not least, linebacker and offensive lineman Dylan Wallace. Dylan is also a Hawk Helmet Award recipient for playing all 4 years. He is accompanied tonight by Kim and Jonah Wallace and sister Kylia Wallace. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Wallace. Ladies and gentlemen, one big round of applause for our senior football players of Mountlake Terrace. And now for our senior cheerleaders. First up, third-year cheerleader and head captain Lexi Daly. Lexi is accompanied by her parents, Lauren and Chuck, as well as her brothers, Ryan and Drew. Ladies and gentlemen, Lexi Daly. Next up, a 3-year cheerleader, Allison Reyes Davies. Allison is accompanied tonight by her parents, Melinda and Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, Allison Allison Reyes-Davies. Let's have a big round of applause for our senior cheerleaders.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet tonight's starting lineups. For your visiting team, the Lynnwood Royals. At wide receiver, number 8, Tanner Fahey. At left tackle, number 75, Blake Reed Henderson. Playing left guard, number 71, Miles Golston. At the center position, number 62, David Livingstone. Playing right guard, number 77, Caden Antipia. At right tackle, number 56, Christopher Calfee. At wide receiver, number 7, Sean Monin. At halfback, number 35, Anthony Hooker. Xavier Lake. At left guard, number 65, Dylan Wallace. At tight end, number 22, Jai Nath. Playing wingback, number 21, Jacob Meeks. At wide receiver, number 11, Eli Dahlman. At running back, number 12, Xavion Jones. At the other running back position, number 5, Ethan Dune. And quarterbacking the Hawks this evening, number 4, Cole Waldrop. Head coach for Mountlake Terrace football is Tony Umayan. Lynnwood has won the toss and is deferred to the second half. Your officials for tonight's game: Blair Carlin, Greg Carlin, Ryan Leninger, Sean Ryan, and Edward Tharp. On the chains tonight, Norm Brown, Matt Douglas, Tim Stone, and Mike Stronsek. Running your 30-second, your play clock tonight is Coach Gorney. Running your timer tonight is Coach Jeff. My spotter is Paul Keene, and I'm your announcer, Tom Davis. Please salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's get ready for football.
Let's get ready for football indeed, and welcome to Edmond Stadium tonight. It's a battle of two rivals, two Edmond School District schools who know each other fairly well. They've played over the years many a times, and they're going to conclude their seasons, their football seasons, on April 1st, on April Fool's Day. No, we're not joking about that this year. It's a pandemic. We do things a little bit differently, and we're ready for some football here tonight on a beautiful evening. In fact, maybe the warmest day of the year thus far here in the Pacific Northwest, and sun has gone down. Still see a nice little color, a little hue in the sky there in the background there off to the west. Lynnwood coming into this game with a record of 1 win and 3 losses, looking to get their second win of the year and end their season on a high note against the Mountlake Terrace Hawks team that's still looking for their first win of the year. 0 wins and 4 losses. And we've already done the intros. You could hear some of the senior session going on just a moment ago as the seniors being honored before the game, specifically for Mountlake Terrace, because this is, in fact, their home game, even though the stadium is shared by both of these schools. Lynnwood honoring their seniors last week for their game. And we are just about ready to go here. You can hear Tom Davis, the public address announcer there.
Jacob Meeks. Noel Gague to kick the ball away for the Royals.
Noel Gague ready to kick off, taking the place of Paul Holman tonight. And the kick is up, and we are underway. The ball trickling down to the 27-yard line and falling on the football quickly. Zevion Jones, the freshman running back for Mountlake Terrace, who due to injuries is getting the start tonight. Let's go ahead and give you the starting lineup for the Mountlake Terrace Hawks. We just mentioned number 12, Zevion Jones. He's a 6 foot, 220-pound freshman. Cole Waldrop Leathers is your quarterback. 6 foot, 160, wears the number 4. Also at running back, you've got Ethan Dunn, number 5, 6 foot 1, 185-pound senior. Your wingback is Jacob Meeks, number 21. He's a 5 foot 8, 185-pound junior. Elijah Dahlman, the senior, 6 foot 5, 175. He's your starting receiver. He wears the number 11. And Jay Nath, number 22, is your tight end. Meeks with the carry, and he goes down quickly. Gavin Kincaid, we were about to mention him in a moment here when we give you the starting lineup for Lynnwood. We'll mention him now, the left defensive end there, making his presence felt. Their first play of the game, a loss of 3 on the play. And the Hawks will look to get something going here on the second offensive play. Handoff, there's the freshman right there, Jones pushing the pile. Lunges forward close to the original line of scrimmage. We'll see where they spot him here. Mountlake Terrace, the offense has struggled this year, to say the least. 12 points on the entire season, and those all came in the game against Cedar Crest here a couple weeks ago. Losing a defensive battle last week, a 6-0 game to Shorewood. Game in which Shorewood scored on the final play of the first half, and that was all the points that they needed, the only points of the game. And here we go right now, 3rd and 10 coming up for the Hawks. Waldrop Leathers rolls out, throws into the flat, ball is complete, and going down right around the 35-yard line, that's Dunn, number 5. Gets tracked down by Caden Carroll, the linebacker. He's going to leave the Hawks looking at a 4th and 3 and potentially the first punting situation of the night. And that was a quick possession. We'll get you the starting lineups for both the Lynnwood defense and the Mountlake Terrace offense on the next time around. As Landon Woolley drops back to punt, number 2. Punt formation, gets pressured, gets off a really nice high booming kick. Ball bounces at the 35 and takes a Terrace roll inside the 20. It's still going. Finally going to get down to the 16-yard line. That's a 49-yard punt right there, folks. Not a bad way to start things off, as Mountlake Terrace pinning Lynnwood back there a little ways. And Here comes the Lynnwood starting offense tonight, being led out onto the field by sophomore quarterback Dion Baker. Dion getting his first start of the season, a 5'9", 150-pound sophomore, wears the number 3. He's joined in the backfield by number 35, Anthony Hooker, an 84-pound junior halfback, wears the number 35. Gavin Kincaid, we mentioned him a moment ago. He's the starting fullback. Where's the number 54? He's a 5'11". Get to the receivers here in just a moment. Shotgun formation. That's Hooker. The call is against. He is a load. Might have found something for the future here. The future might be now. 10 more yards to play. Gain moving up one more time. 1st and 10. 10-yard line, fumbled the football. Let's see if their weeks was down or 2. If a Lynnwood player, as they were recovering the football, was telling him no, the body was out of bounds. So he's going to let Mountlake Terrace looking for 3. Right side, pushed out of bounds. But not before he picks up a few more yards down to the 15-yard line. Hawks really getting hit hard with the injury bug lately. SA, number 1, out for the year after an injury last week. And this is a team that wasn't deep to begin with. And Lynnwood right now deciding that they need to regroup as the ball is spotted down at the 10-yard line. Look from high atop our perch here as we're looking across the field as though he might have been pushed out around the 15, but in fact was able to get up the field even further. So we thank all of you for watching out there. We are having some internet issues up here in the booth, so it looks like we've got it on now. I'm going to try to be able to communicate with you as much as possible during the game and check some of the comments and give some shout-outs where we can for some of the folks watching out there. And we think we were on the air the whole time, but we were having internet issues there, so we weren't able to watch from up here, but we just got our internet back. So hopefully you've been able to watch this drive. If not, Mountlake Terrace marching down the field here, second possession of the game. A Hawks football team that still looking for their first win of the year. Hawks football team that's only scored 2 touchdowns all season, and those came in the same game. So we're looking at a 2nd and 2 right now for the Hawks. 5:01 to go, first quarter, no score. Waldrop Leathers, handoff. The freshman Jones one more time. This time gets tackled at the feet. Right around the line of scrimmage. And that's Caden Carroll making the tackle, the 5'11", 100-pound senior. Give you a few names here of the defensive players up front. Your defensive ends. On the left side, you've got number 54, Gavin Kincaid. On the right side, number 35, Anthony Hooker. Both juniors. We'll give you the tackles here in just a moment. 3rd and 2 at the 10. A lot of movement there. Whistles blow. If this is on Lynnwood, that will be an automatic first down for the Hawks.
Dead ball.
In fact, it is encroachment. First down, Mountlake Terrace.
5-yard penalty. Still be 3rd down.
We've already mentioned Caden Carroll. He's one of your outside linebackers, number 52, 5'11", 200 pounds. Your middle linebackers, number 51, Jonathan Lucio. It's a 5'10", 230-pound junior. We saw him with 2 interceptions in that game against Shorewood this year. One and only victory for the Royals. And Noah Gugwehi, number 5, is your outside linebacker on the other side. 5'11", 185-pound sophomore. Handoff right up the middle. Towards the end zone, lunging. Touchdown, Terrace. Zevion Jones, the freshman, with his first career touchdown, possibly the first of many. He is a very impressive-looking player. Definitely the workhorse of that particular drive. And Mountlake Terrace marches down the field. 2nd possession of the game. Our first score, and it comes with 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. And now Angel Rodriguez comes in for the extra point, trying to give the Hawks a 7-0 lead. The kick is way up. Booming kick. Plenty of distance, but did not go through the uprights. Just hooked it to the right. Mountlake Terrace up 6-0. 4 minutes to go first quarter. We'll see if Lynnwood can respond. You are watching Hawk TV, HBN. And welcome back once again to Edmond Stadium. Steve Willits along with the HBN
Goes out of
Hawk
bounds.
TV
Penalty on
crew.
the field.
We do apologize as I read through the comments here. I thought maybe for a moment we were still on the air. However, it sounds like we got bumped off. Not sure exactly when that happened, but just to give you a quick recap. Both teams with their opening possessions, neither one able to score, neither one able to do much. Mountlake Terrace then taking their second possession, and we've got some stats here as they march down the field. 9 plays, 77 yards on a drive that lasted 4 minutes and 19 seconds. Drive in which the freshman, Zevian Jones, had 5 carries for 28 yards. And he ended that drive with a 2-yard TD run up the middle. Hawks on the board for the first time. And now Lynnwood for the second time this evening on offense. Monin on the catch. Out into the flat there, 35-yard line. Gains I was going to say he gained 1 or 2, but he didn't gain any. Right back to the line of scrimmage there. So we might get a little bit repetitive here just because I'm not sure what did or didn't go over the air when we got bumped off. So I'll give you some starting lineups here in just a moment. For Lynnwood, Dion Baker, the sophomore quarterback, getting the start tonight. His first start of the year as Julius Hudorf getting banged up pretty good last week. We do see Hudorf suited up this evening, so perhaps we'll see him a little bit. But Baker, the freshman, getting the call, and he's going to throw in this play, or perhaps he's going to throw deep too. Down the sideline, one-on-one, incomplete. A lot of jockeying for position, and to be honest, I like the no call there. Ethan Pook, he was the intended receiver. Kobe Davis, and the two getting a little bit tangled with one another, but most of it was incidental. We did get a flag, however, back at the 37-yard line, so let's see what the call is here.
Second down, 9 to go for the Royals.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense. That penalty is declined. It'll be third down.
So ineligible receiver down the field, so that's when an offensive lineman releases early and goes past the line of scrimmage before the ball is thrown. So since it was an incomplete pass, Mountlake Terrace had the option to decline the penalty, and they do so. 3rd and 9 coming up. Baker one more time. He's getting blitzed. Wallace coming in that time. Baker gets away from him and decides to keep it himself. And finally dragged out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Saloni Tonga making the tackle. The big fella there. I already can see online we've got some folks from his family watching tonight. And glad to be back here so that they could see that as he prevents a first down. And that's going to bring up a 4th and 2 situation. This could be interesting. You got Miguel Hurtado. He was a second-team All-Wesco punter last year. And oh, by the way, he also is a starting wing back on this team. So he's got some wheels he can run too. If you're ever going to do a fake punt, 4th and 2 could be it. We'll see if they elect to kick or not. And they do. Hurtado gets off a nice kick. Jacob Meeks back to field it. Takes it at the 15-yard line. And is brought down almost immediately. Caden Carroll making the tackle on the play. Nicely done. So the Hawks coming back out onto the offensive side of things here again. As we mentioned on that last possession, Mountlake Terrace coming into the game with only 2 touchdowns all season long. Looking to maybe match that total with 2 in back-to-back possessions here. They've got a ways to go, though. This is at the 18-yard line. So again, if we might be repeating ourselves here, but I know we got knocked off the air, so we're going to mention the starting lineups one more time here. We'll go through it. Cole Waldrop Leathers is your quarterback. He's number 4, 6 foot, 160-pound junior. Zevion Jones is number 12. He is the running back. He's the one carrying the ball right now. He is a big man to carry, to bring down. He's 6 foot, 220, and he's only a freshman, folks. Number 5, Ethan Dunn is your 6'1", 185-pound senior running back. Your wing back is number 21, Jacob Meeks. He's a 5'8", 185-pound junior. Starting wide receiver is number 11, Elijah Dahlman. He's a 6'5", 175-pound senior. And your tight end is number 22, Jay Nath, 6'3", 200-pound senior. 2nd and 4 coming up for the Hawks. Handoff up the middle once again. First down yardage and more. Sivian Jones. They're going to let the freshman run tonight. Gets ahead for a 7-yard gain. First down, they'll move the chains one more time. Mountlake Terrace's starting line tonight. Your left tackle is number 54, Xavier Lake. He's a 5'8", 220-pound junior. Your left guard, number 65, Dylan Wallace. He's a 6', 220-pound senior. Also has played a little tight end this year. 77 is your center, Solani Tonga, 6'1", 280-pound senior. Waldrop Leathers drops back to pass, throws out into the flat. There's Dahlman. Sliding catch, nicely done. 9-yard gain, of course, high school, along with the college rules. Once you're down, even if not touched. So he makes sure just to corral that ball in and make sure that it doesn't get to the ground, and picks up 9 yards on the play. Your right side of your offensive line is number 70, Caden Hinckley. He's your right guard. He's a 6'2", 280 junior. And your right tackle is number 74, Graffin Arman, a 5'11", 230-pound sophomore. The only sophomore in the starting lineup for Mountlake Terrace. Clock now showing a minute to go, first quarter. Zevian Jones one more time, spins off of a tackler, continues moving forward, and picks up another 7 yards on the play. Let's get to the Lynnwood defense again, just in case we missed that earlier. So you're starting front four for Lynnwood. Number 54, your left end, is Gavin Kincaid. He is a 5'11", 185-pound junior. Your left tackle is number 71, Miles Golston. It's a 6'2", 250-pound sophomore. Your right tackle is number 56, Christopher Colfie. It's a 6', 200-pound junior. And your right end, number 35, Anthony Hooker, a 5'10", 184-pound junior. Starting linebackers. Number 52, Caden Carroll, is at one outside linebacker spot. It's a 5'11", 200-pound junior. Noel Gugwehi is your other outside linebacker. Number 5, a 5'11", 185-pound sophomore. Jones one more time. Jones getting tackled down hard, but not before he picks up some fought yardage. 6-yard pickup on the play for the freshman. Your starting middle linebacker for Lynnwood, number 51, Jonathan Lucio, 5'10", 230-pound junior. We mentioned earlier he had the 2 interceptions in the game against Shorewood earlier. And we'll stay here and give you your starting defensive backs for Lynnwood as the first quarter comes to an end. Your cornerbacks, number 15, Jordan Whittle. He's a 6'2", 160-pound sophomore. Ethan Pook is number 4. He's a 5'9", 165-pound junior. Your strong safety is Sean Monin. Where's the number 7? He's a 6'3", 193-pound senior. And rounding out the starting lineup for Lynnwood, the free safety, number 10, Miguel Hurtado, 5'9", 160-pound junior. We've come to the end of one quarter of play. Mountlake Terrace 6, Lynnwood 0. We'll be right back to bring in the second quarter of action right here on Hawk TV HPN. And here we go, second quarter of action underway. Edmond Stadium. Mountlake Terrace out to the 6-0 lead and looking for more. Ethan Dunn up the middle. First down yardage and more. Picks up 10 on the play. That's going to move the chains one more time. It's not the Mountlake Terrace Hawks team we were expecting to see, as we knew coming into this game, struggling on offense. Struggling with injuries, and tonight, Mountlake Terrace looking like a different team out there right now, trying to end this season on a high note. Waldrop Leathers, hands off to Dunn. Dunn looking to sweep to the right. Finding a little space, but not much. Nice defense there. Sean Monin, the safety, coming over to make the tackle. Got to give a shout out to the chain gang tonight, too. Norm Brown, Matt Douglas, Tim Stone, and Mike Stronzik. Moving the chains, moving the yard markers. Not always an easy job. We were giving them a hard time during the opening game. Right before the half, there was a little confusion on moving the chains one particular series of events, and it turns out the referee didn't wave them down the way they should have. And these guys, they'll work hard every night. They're here quite often and appreciate their service all year long. And they all seem to like each other. That's always a good thing. Waldrop Leathers, down he goes. Gavin Kincaid shooting through and sacking the quarterback there. 2nd and 7 becomes 3rd and long on the play. It's a loss of 9 yards on the sack. Brings up 3rd and 16. Try to give you some scores of other games going on here later. I know John Richards, our friend over at Shoreline, he's doing a little double duty watching our game.
Offense, that penalty is declined. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, they're going to decline that penalty and take the 9-yard loss. John Richard was sending us scores earlier. John Richards was watching the Shorewood Shorecrest game, the game they call the Rotary Cup in Shoreline. It is all Shorecrest tonight. They were up 36-0 at halftime. And that's a game that's been a good, tightly contested series over the years, but not tonight, not this year. Shorecrest looking really good right now. Double handoff here. Penalty flag flies as Jacob Meeks, down he goes. Looked at my binoculars. I don't even know why I bothered. I should have already known that was Sean Monin. Monin coming up and laying a lick. He's been hitting people like that all season long. Let's see what the call is here. I would think that if it's against Mountlake Terrace, Lynnwood will decline. It will bring up a 4th and long.
Got an illegal shift on the offense. That penalty is declined. The result will be a 4th down.
There you go. Illegal shift called on the offense, so Lynnwood could have pushed them back 5 yards and replayed 3rd down, but why do that when you've got 4th and 17, right? So it's going to bring up a situation in which the Hawks will need to bring out the punt team and bring Landon Woolley back out for one more kick with 9:48 to go in the second. Nice high kick from Woolley. Hits at the 26, but does not take a Terrace bounce. Takes a Lynnwood bounce. Only a 14-yard kick on the play, and Lynnwood starting the ball in much better field position than we anticipated there with 9:39 to go here, second quarter. Just getting a score from over at Snohomish Veterans Memorial Stadium. A good one there tonight. Lake Stevens leading Glacier Peak 28-21. Just a few seconds left in the half over there right now. Both teams undefeated. Both teams considered to be the cream of the crop in Snohomish County this year. So kind of a de facto championship game almost, if you will. Whistle just blows just now. We've got Lynnwood offense back out onto the field one more time. Running to the left, that's Sean Monin. Cuts it back up the field. It's past the 1st down marker and then some. Blasted out of bounds right around the 42-yard line. A gain of... Actually, they're going to spot him up a little further than that even. Nope, they'll push it back to the 42. Looking at too many officials. Their 42-yard line is where the ball will sit. A 12-yard gain for Monin on the play.
Rose have it 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line.
And here we go again. Run right up the middle. Fighting for yardage there. Going down hard. Anthony Hooker one more time on the carry. Hinckley on the tackle. Again, those white jerseys and the light gold numbers. And sometimes when both Kincaid and Hooker both run up the middle, they're both kind of bigger bodies. Can't always tell right away who has the football when we're watching up here. We're kind of operating on a skeleton crew this year. Again, not bringing a color commentator up into the booth. Trying to stay socially spaced up here and distance from one another as we get another carry. First down and more. That's Anthony Hooker one more time. So there's an occasional pause after the Lynnwood ball carriers are running, just so I can make sure that I know who has the football. In that particular case, it is number 35 again. And it usually is. Anthony Hooker's been kind of the workhorse this year. Wow, just getting a message here. I thought I'd seen some text messages going along on my phone, but apparently that Lake Stevens Glacier Peak game, at one point the lights went out at the stadium tonight. They had a 15-minute delay as Hooker goes down hard. Jay Napton on the tackle. Like Xavier Lake also helping in on there. Oh, Darian Richardson getting a nice little shout out there. So we should mention the Mountlake Terrace defensive team. We haven't done that yet. So Darian Richardson is number 64. He's your defensive end. Number 70, Caden Hinckley, the 6'2", 280 junior, also a defensive end. And Soloni Tonga, number 77, the 6'1", 280 senior, playing nose tackle tonight for the Hawks. We'll get you the rest of that defense here in just a moment. Baker fakes the handoff, throws that into the flat. Ball's completed. Far side of the field, a pickup of around 6 yards. That's going to be Caden Carroll, the backup fullback, making the catch. The number 52, you don't always see a 52. Number one, you don't see a 52 number carrying the ball very often, and you certainly don't see a 52 catching a pass. So a rarity there. Picks up a few yards on the play. Your Mountlake Terrace linebackers. Your inside linebackers are number 65, Dylan Wallace, the senior, and number 54, Xavier Lake, the junior. Your outside linebackers, number 5, Ethan Dunn, and number 22, Jay Nath. Blitz coming right now. Baker finds a man, completes it out into the flat. Lunging forward for the first down. And that's Tanner Fahey, 25th consecutive game in a row with a catch. Also puts him over the 1,500-yard mark for his career. You mentioned two-time All-Wesco player.
15 yards on the pickup, and that's a Lynnwood first down.
And a Lynnwood first down.
The Royals have a first and 10.
Fahey coming into the game with 118 career receptions, 1,493 yards, 11 touchdowns. Oh, by the way, coming off a torn ACL last summer and wearing a brace on his knee. Very impressive young man. Playing college ball at North Dakota next year. Handoff up the middle. Lynnwood leaning forward. Guess who? Number 35, Anthony Hooker with another carry. Lynnwood looking for the equalizer here, down by 6, and perhaps with a PAT could get the lead with just a little under 6 minutes to go in the half.
Second down, 8 to go for the Royals.
Fast-paced game right now. Everything's moving along quickly here. Baker looking to throw. Over the middle, complete. Inside the 20-yard line, red zone territory. That's Hurtado making the catch. See where they spot him? That's going to be close to a first down there. And they're going to move the chains one more time. Lynnwood on the move right now.
8 yards on the pickup.
Needed 8 yards. He got exactly 8 yards, so that moves the chains here. A lot of confusion for Lynnwood right now. Let's see what they're... Hurtado running off after his helmet came off. I believe that's probably a required mandatory one play out when that happens. So see if he maybe goes back in after that. Baker ran over to the sideline, got the play. Fahey splitting out to the right. And we're going to get a timeout called here for Lynnwood. So 5:04 to go, first half. We've got ourselves a doozy here. Mountlake Terrace 6, Lynnwood 0. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're watching Hawk TV, HBN. And welcome back once again to Edmond Stadium. Steve Willets along with the HBN crew.
First and 10 from the Terrace.
Lynnwood trailing by 6. However, they are on the move right now, 17 yards away from the end zone. Just saw some of the cheerleaders there a minute ago. 2 Mountlake Terrace High School cheerleaders are seniors this year. Is Lynnwood getting stacked up in the backfield. Stopped by number 64, Darian Richardson, and number 65, Dylan Wallace, both in on the tackle. 4-yard loss, 2nd and 14 coming up. I mentioned Lexi Daly and Allison Reyes Davies, your 2 Mountlake Terrace Hawks senior cheerleaders, being honored here on senior night tonight. Mentioned the Lynnwood cheer again. We mentioned them last week, but we'll give them another shout out here too in a moment. 2nd and 14 coming up. Faking the handoff. Baker rolling that to the right. Throws across the middle. Intercepted. No. Looked for a brief moment there like Mountlake Terrace had that ball in their hands. Cool Waldrop leathers for a moment there. The ball hit him right around the chest area, and he kept moving forward as though he had it. I thought he was getting ready to run 85 yards for a potential touchdown. Instead, the ball hits the ground. 3rd and 14 coming up.
Ball sitting on the Mountlake Terrace 21-yard line. 3rd down and 14 for the Royals.
3rd and 14. The Royals needing to get around the 7-yard line for the first down. Here we go again. Baker looking to throw. He eludes a tackler, runs up the middle. He's got space. He's got end zone. Dion Baker, touchdown Royals. The sophomore showing the athleticism, showing the wheels, the speed, showing that he is tuned into the end zone and wanted to get that score. The equalizer, tying this game 6-6 with 4:08 to go in the half. And now we are a Lynnwood PAT away from possibly seeing a lead change here. Has Baker running to the side to get some instructions, and he's actually the kicker tonight. Again, Paul Holman's held that position all year and not playing tonight, so out with an injury. Baker will attempt to now give his team a lead. Hawks with a nice blitz, and it's wide right. Very similar to the Mountlake Terrace kick. So we got a pair of 6s on the board. Mountlake Terrace, Lynnwood all knotted up. We've got ourselves a game, folks. We'll be right back. It's Hawk TV HBN. Welcome back to Edmond Stadium. We are all tied up after Lynnwood marching down the field on an 11-play, 70-yard drive that took 5 minutes and 31 seconds off the clock. And now here come the Hawks one more time with another return.
Tyler Schenkel running the ball back from the Terrace.
Tyler Schenkel with the return. It's the ball up to the 38-yard line. 4:02 to go in the half. Started to mention this a minute ago, and we want to give a shout out. I think we've got 2 Lynnwood cheerleaders in attendance tonight who are cheering for their last football game of their high school careers, getting ready to graduate. Samantha LaGrance and Asia Navarro, both cheering for the last time. Here comes another handoff from the Hawks, and Lynnwood's ready for it this time. Nice job by the Royals defense. Ethan Dunn with the carry. Jonathan Lucio in on the tackle. Looked like Anatipa might have been in there as well. They call that a 2nd and 10. We'll call it a no gain for the Hawks. 3:32 to go here, first half. Both teams with 1 touchdown. Hawks up the middle one more time. Lynnwood starting to catch on a little bit. Savion Jones with a carry. And Atipa making another tackle. Brings up a 3rd and 6 coming up here. Under 3 minutes to go, first half. And we've get whistles and flags all over the field with 2:50 left. Trying to catch up on some of the comments here in a moment. Somebody yelling to keep Dion in. And I think the way he's playing right now, I don't think that will be a problem. Getting a correction on the first name for number 74 for the Hawks. It's Griffin Amon, the only sophomore starting along the, not only the offensive line, but for that matter, on offense for Mountlake Terrace.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. It'll still be 3rd down.
So 3rd and 6 just became 3rd and 11 with 2:50 to go here. Mountlake Terrace trying to keep the ball away from Lynnwood. Lynnwood looking to get it back, feeling like they've got some momentum right now. I'm sure the Royals would like to try to get another score on the board before the end of the half. Not to mention, Lynnwood will get the ball first in the second half. They'll receive the opening kickoff. 3rd and 11 coming up. Handoff up the middle. We're back. Open door policy up here in the booth, apparently. Somebody coming up to let us know that they're having an issue getting out of an exit, so had to turn down the mic for a moment, and we're back with you now. You never know what you're going to get during a high school football broadcast. So Mountlake Terrace thrown for a 1-yard loss on the play. Woolley back to punt one more time. Lynnwood down to 1 timeout, and they elect not to use it, so the Hawks are just going to let the clock tick down as far as they can. Smart move by Tony Umayam, the head coach for the Hawks, letting the play clock go down to 1 second with 1:46 to go. And figures if you're going to give the ball back over to Lynnwood, give it back to them with as little time as possible. And that's exactly what he does. Umayam at his second turn at the helm for the Hawks. He was the head coach back in 2004 through 2015. Stepped away. Took a few years off, and when the job opened up again, decided to reapply, and he's back at it again now in year number 2. On the other sideline, you've got Keontae Bankhead, 10th-year head coach at Lynnwood. Umayam coaching at his alma mater. Bankhead, an alum of Ballard High School. Phenomenal football player back in his day. Both of these guys good football players. I don't want to short Tony on that one. He was great cornerback back in his day at Mountlake Terrace, and ended up starting for Willamette for a couple of years. Keontae, a 4 or 5-star recruit back in the day. I remember maybe the highest recruited player in the state the year he was playing for Ballard. Woolley with a nice, huge booming kick this time. Monin back to field it. Ball hits at the 38 and decides to just roll sideways. So Hawks are going to finally put a hand on it and stop it. High kick, but not a long kick. Only 27 yards on the kick. No return. So Lynnwood with 1:36 to go, and we've seen this before. I think I sound like a broken record. I said this again last week, but the Shorewood game, week number 2, Shorewood scored a touchdown to make it a 7-7 game. Lynnwood had the football. I want to say it was at their own 18-yard line, give or take. There was only about 1:10 left in the half. They were out of timeouts. And Deion Baker hit Sean Monin down the sideline for a 64-yard bomb down to the 5, and that set up a Baker to Monin touchdown 2 plays later at the very end of the half. And this time, rather than throw it, they're going to hand off to Hooker one more time, and Hooker gets stacked up at the line of scrimmage. A 1-yard gain. An interesting call there. You're burning clock. You've only got the 1 timeout left, and Lynnwood almost acting as though maybe they're content to have a 6-6 game at the half. We'll see if they maybe try to put it up right now. You've got Fahey. You've got Monin. The throw that Baker completed to Monin a few weeks ago was a 64-yard completion. About 40-plus of that was in the air. Baker's got an arm, so let's see if they let him use it here. Under a minute left. 2nd and 9. Well, fakes the handoff. Baker's going to keep it. Let's see if he runs out of bounds. He does. Picks up a couple of yards on the play. Still got that timeout in their back pocket there. You can't take it with you. Doesn't carry over to the second half, so perhaps they'll be able to use that coming up here. But now it's 3rd and 8, so if you're Mountlake Terrace, if you can get a stop here, you have 2 timeouts left. Certainly, if you can force a 4th down here, it would be advantageous for you to try to stop the clock and force a punt and see if perhaps you can get something happening here before the end of the half. So let's see what they do here. Six game. Lynnwood left hash mark. 45 seconds to go. Baker looking. Eludes a defender. Running up the field. Gets the first down and then some very smart play by the sophomore. Had the sense to know where not only the first down marker was, but also where the out of bounds line was. Looked as initially like he was thinking about going out of bounds around the 45-yard line, and then I think he realized, I need a few more yards here before I cross that line, and he did finally. Past midfield to the 48. Stops the clock, 37 seconds left, and still that timeout to use. So let's see what they want to do here right now. Fahey lined up out to the left. Monin and Hurtado to the right. And Baker's going to look to pass. Blitzed by Nath, and down he goes. Jay Nath grabbing the back of the jersey. One of the Lynnwood coaches initially acted as though he wanted a horse collar call, but you know what? Nath had that shirt right around the middle of the back, and they're not going to call that. And finally, Lynnwood forced to call that timeout. As bad as it was to take a sack there, only a 4-yard loss, so Baker did manage to get up the field a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what Lynnwood wants to do here. Again, you've got 14 yards to the first down. If you get tackled inbounds before that 14 yards, the clock's going to continue to run. You've got a quarterback who's shown that he's got an arm. You've also got a quarterback who's shown that he's got legs and he can get out of trouble. And you certainly have 2 veteran wide receivers out there. 3, really, if you're counting Hurtado as well. Don't want to forget him in that slot. So a lot of options here. Just getting another score coming in, too. Monroe leading Snohomish 35-7 at the end of the third quarter. Earlier tonight, Union beating up on Marysville-Pilchuck. It was a game that was scheduled just a few days ago. Marysville-Pilchuck originally scheduled to play Stanwood. Stanwood needing to opt out. Marysville-Pilchuck needing an opponent. And the 2018 state champions for the 4A conference from down in the Vancouver, Washington area, obliging and driving up and beating them up a little bit tonight. There's a pass to the out. Tanner Fahey making a catch right around the 46. That's the good news. Bad news is that you're still looking at a long ways to go here. They give him about a 6-yard gain there. So at the 46-yard line, we're looking at a 3rd and 8. 23 seconds left. Again, if you get a first down, even if you stay in bounds, a first down, the clock will stop at least long enough for the chain gang to move. If you do not get a first down and you stay in bounds, that clock's going to continue to run. Let's see what they do here. Baker looking back to throw. Throwing deep, too. Flag goes flying. Catch is incomplete. See what the penalty marker is. Miguel Hurtado, the intended receiver, down the right sideline. Trying to make the Willie Mays-esque catch there over the shoulder, and seems only appropriate on opening day of the Major League Baseball season. See what they're going to call here.
Illegal use of hands, number 5, on the defense. That's a 10-yard penalty. The result will be a first down.
So instead of a 4th and 8, you get a 1st and 10 there as Ethan Dunn called for the illegal use of hands. I guess if you're Mountlake Terrace, there is one positive thing in that play in that you did burn off 7 more seconds. So Lynnwood out of timeouts, 16 seconds left. So again, if you're Lynnwood on this next play here, you don't need to necessarily go for the end zone. You certainly need to run something that's going to get at least 10 yards, though, because you do want that clock to stop if, in fact, you are tackled in bounds. So let's see what they do here. Tie game. As we mentioned earlier, Lynnwood also getting the second half kickoff to start things off in the third quarter. So if you're the Royals, not only could you grab the lead, but you could grab the lead knowing you get the ball next. Baker looking deep, too. Going down the sideline, underthrown, intercepted. Waldrop Leathers with a pick. Still on his feet, and Monin getting down the field. The ball's fumbled. Penalty flag goes flying at the end of the play. We're showing 4 seconds left on the clock. See what the call is here. Is Monin came running down the field and tackled Waldrop Leathers from behind.
Cole Waldrop Leathers with the interception for the Hawks.
And we saw Waldrop Leathers with an interception here a couple of weeks ago in a game. First play of the game, I believe.
After the interception, there's a personal foul, blindside block on the defense. It'll be half the distance and a first down.
Blindside block on the return. So it will be Mountlake Terrace football. It was after the interception and during the return. You got some fans booing here, but the truth of the matter is, number one, it's an illegal play nowadays. They changed the rules. Number two, 4 seconds to go. You probably were just going to take a knee anyway after getting tackled at around the 30-yard line with 4 seconds to go. So I don't think it changes the complexion of anything here. And that's exactly what the Hawks are going to do here now as they're into the kneel-down formation. Waldrop Leathers drops to a knee, and we head to the break. We head to the half with a 6-6 tie. Much closer game than maybe we anticipated. Mountlake Terrace, again, winless on the season, only came into the game with 12 points, and they are hanging with Lynnwood right now. Very tightly contested game. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get you caught up on some stats and get you ready to go for the second half. You're watching Hawk TV, HBN.
Hey fans, just so you know, the north gate is open if you wish to depart. But remember, there is no readmittance. So if you do go out the north gate, that's your only chance. You can't come back in. Thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to Edmonds Stadium, where we have a 6-6 tie this evening. Mountlake, Terrace, and Lynnwood. We're going to go ahead and bring up Doug Podrowski's mic right now. Doug is our statistician tonight, sitting down below me here.
Again, how about another shout out
And
applause for our seniors playing in their last game here at Edmonds School District Stadium, and also our cheer squad seniors who are cheering in their last games here at Edmonds School District Stadium. Unless, however, you cheer for track, then that's a whole different story.
Tom Davis, our public address announcer. Doug Podrowski, let's go ahead and bring you up right now. Give us a few stats. What do we have for the first half?
Yeah, in a game that's tied at halftime, you'd expect the stats to be close, and they are. Here we go. Lynnwood, 78 yards rushing, 34 yards passing for a total of 112 yards, 112 total yards. Mountlake Terrace, 93 yards rushing, 16 yards passing for a total of 109 yards. 112 to 109 is the only difference in total yardage between the two teams.
I'm no math major, but that's 3 yards apart, right?
And a cloud of dust.
Exactly. I like that.
Yeah, it's AstroTurf here at Edmond Stadium. Lynnwood's leading rusher is their quarterback, Dion Baker, 48 yards rushing. And, of course, the touchdown rush. He's also 5 for 9 passing for 34 yards. He has thrown an interception, though. Mountlake Terrace's leading rusher, the big freshman, Xavier Jones, 12 carries for 61 yards. 12 carries in the first half, 61 yards, plus the touchdown. And the Terrace quarterback, Toll Waldrop Leathers, 2 for 2 for 16 yards.
Not bad at all. And I'm sorry, first down. Do we have first down totals too?
We do. Mountlake Terrace first downs, 9. Lynnwood first downs, 8.
Oh, still even all around then.
And you want a number of plays from scrimmage?
Absolutely. Why not? We got some time here. We're still watching these guys warm up.
Lynnwood has, I just had it here, 24 plays from scrimmage. Mountlake Terrace has 25, but that includes the kneel down at the end of it.
Okay, Doug, I'm gonna grill you here because you've been working for MLT News for a while. You've done Lynnwood today. Went back on Wesco Athletics earlier to try to get the Mountlake Terrace versus Lynnwood head-to-head matchups over the last 10 years. They didn't play in 2018. That was a year Mountlake Terrace was a 2A school playing in that other conference. They were playing in a different conference last year, too. However, they matched these two teams up against each other during the crossover. So 9 games between the years 2010 and 2019. How many Mountlake Terrace wins? How many Lynnwood wins?
9 games. I would guess there was probably 7 Mountlake Terrace wins and 2 for Lynnwood.
You are oh so close. 6 wins for Mountlake Terrace and 3 from Lynnwood. Victories coming in 2011. That was a 21-20 game. And if I remember correctly, we weren't doing broadcast. That was the year before we started broadcasting. But I think Mountlake Terrace, maybe in the final minute of the game, maybe right near at the very end of the game, scored a touchdown. And I think they missed an extra point. Lost by 1. And then Lynnwood defeating Mountlake Terrace in 2015 and 2016. Those were those really tough Lynnwood teams there. 49-28 victory for Lynnwood in 2015. 32-13 victory for them in 2016. Last year's game, all the way back on November 7th, 2019, 30-13 final for the Hawks. So there's your Lynnwood Mountlake Terrace trivia for the night. And right now we can't say we know who's going to win this game, so I guess we'll find out and play another 24 minutes. What do you think?
I'm looking forward to it.
Here we go. So Doug Podrowski, thank you very much. Our statistician extraordinaire this year. And he picked a good night to do it, hanging out here at the stadium. This is perfect. I wish we had more nights like this in November and late October when it gets chilly and rainy. And it's one of the advantages to plan on April 1st. And here we go. We're underway for the second half. Angel Rodriguez with the kickoff. Lynnwood fielding it at around the 25-yard line. And finding a little bit of sideline there and then some. A little bit of a scrum as that's Hurtado, number 10, with return. Finally getting taken out of bounds by the freshman, Xavier Jones. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Every time I say Xavier Jones' name, I want to say the freshman. That's meant as a compliment, as I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that a freshman looks this good and this strong. And the last time I think we saw a freshman running back look like that at Mountlake Terrace, it was a guy that wore the number 1, and his name was Devontae Downs, and he now plays for the New York Giants in the National Football League, and he's making some money playing pro ball there. We saw him with 19 touchdown rushes his freshman year. Not too shabby. Here comes Lynnwood one more time at 6-6 score. Dion Baker looking to throw deep. He's got a man there too. Fahey inside the 10, looks up, catches the football down at the 5-yard line. Tanner Fahey running down the right side there. We saw him get behind the defense. We saw Dion Baker cock that arm and let it go. And you know that if it gets anywhere near the vicinity of number 8, he's going to make a catch. And that's exactly what he did. Actually, we're going to spot it at the 8-yard line, so take a few yards off of what we said there a moment ago. 44-yard gain on the play. Lynnwood looking for their first lead of the night. We're not even a minute into the third quarter yet. And here come the Royals. Handoff up the middle. Pushing people, pushing the pile, trying to get towards that goal line. And that's Anthony Hooker right up the middle there. 6-yard carry. They're going to say it a 5-yard carry. They'll spot it at the 3. Mountlake Terrace, who was playing some really solid defense there in the first half, looking like they might have got a little bit of a demoralizing hit there after that catch. Let's see what they can do here. Lynnwood up the middle. Hooker pushing, bulldozing, powering his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Royals. Anthony Hooker from 3 yards out. Hooker's 3rd touchdown of the season. He had 2 in the Shorewood game back in week number 2. He hasn't scored since until now. Lynnwood 12, Mountlake Terrace 6. And we are only a minute and 24 into the third quarter. Hooker now tying Sean Monin for most touchdowns this season for Lynnwood. Both have 3. Fahey has 2. Pook has 1. And Dion Baker, after that touchdown earlier in the first half, also with 1. And Lynnwood electing not to even mess with the PAT. They're going to go for 2 here. Keeping the offense on the field. Dion Baker, shotgun formation. Hawks look to blitz. Baker rolls out. Looks to keep it. Into the end zone. Flag flies right around the goal line. Lynnwood is celebrating, but it might be a little prematurely as we wait the call here. See what it is.
Holding number 77, offense, 10-yard penalty. We'll repeat the try.
And Atipa, the freshman, getting called for the hold. It's going to bring it back. And now I would think we're going to see Lynnwood attempt a point after touchdown. Let's see what happens here. That last drive, 3 plays, 52 yards, 1 minute and 17 seconds elapsing off the clock after the kickoff return. And you know what? They said, why not? Let's try it again. So they're back at the 12. They're still going to go for 2 here. Baker keeping the offense on. 3 receivers set out to the right. Baker looks to throw. Buying some time, waiting. Waited a little too long. Down goes Dion Baker. So the point after touchdown is no good. However, the 6 points stay up on the board, and the Lynnwood Royals for the first time tonight leading the Mountlake Terrace Hawks. Lynnwood 12, Mountlake Terrace 6. We'll be right back here on Hawk TV, HBN. And we're back here at Edmonds Stadium. Lynnwood with their first lead of the night. If you are a football fan of Valley City State University in North Dakota, you got to be feeling pretty good right now. You've got a wide receiver from Lynnwood, Washington coming your way next year. And we've got a scrum out here. Nicely done by Ethan Dunn. Looked like he was going to go down around the 30-yard line, and he carried the pile all the way to the 40. Mountlake Terrace will start their first possession of the second half from that spot, maybe even the 41 as the ball goes down. Yeah, Tanner Fahey. We mentioned it here too, and Tanner's going to be fine in the long term. Playing with that leg injury, and you can even see it week to week. He just looks like he's stronger and getting better all the time, but definitely not the Tanner Fahey we saw over the last couple of years coming off that knee injury, but getting stronger and stronger, and he will be 100% by next year. I have a feeling that Valley City State is getting themselves a heck of a ball player. By the time he is fully recouped and 100%, I think they're going to find that they've got themselves a steal. They're coming their way next year. Is Meeks on the carry there, picked up a gain of 5 on the play, 2nd and 5. Tanner's sister Taylor, part of that Lynnwood High School state championship basketball team a few years back. Currently attending college at the University of Colorado, and we wish her all the best. Flag goes flying. Mountlake Terrace looking to push forward for a first down, and Zevion Jones is not an easy man to bring down. All the way past midfield. This one might be coming back. It's usually an area where you get an offensive call, but still showing that strength there on the play. Last score we had was Lake Stevens.
Illegal shift. It'll be 2nd down.
Having a few microphone issues there, but an illegal shift called against Mountlake Terrace, and that'll bring it back. Did finally get names for our officiating crew tonight. Blair Carlin and Greg Carlin, father and son. We've had them on here before, or we've had them at games here before. Ryan Linginger, Sean Ryan, and Edward Tharp. That's your officiating crew for the second game tonight. I think it's maybe the first time this year we haven't had the same crew for both games. Still sorting things out down here, apparently. Should probably try to mention some of the seniors by name here as we go along, too. Not a whole lot of seniors on either one of these squads. We did the same exercise during the Meadowdale Edmonds Woodway game, and it took a little longer at halftime. As Waldrop Leathers throwing to Dolman, incomplete. Pook defending that one rather nicely, and we've got a flag down around the 45. Looks like maybe in the vicinity of where a pass interference could have been called. Hard to tell from up here when we were watching it live, but the flag was thrown about 10 yards back from where the ball was actually, or 5 yards before where the ball was thrown. So perhaps they're calling some contact on Poke before the ball got there. Not too sure that the Lynnwood faithful sitting down below us here agreed with the referees on that one. We're hearing a few boos, but as is often the case. But yeah, again, I'd like to see that one again almost. It was hard to tell from my vantage point where the contact was. It might have been before the ball actually got there. But nonetheless, penalty is called. It gives Mountlake Terrace the ball on the Lynnwood side of the field. Again, looking to match the score, looking to get this game tied up one more time. Mountlake Terrace scoring the first 6 points of the night. Lynnwood scoring the last 12. Jacob Meeks, jet sweep out to the left. And that jet sweep's not going very far at all. It looked like he was going to get all the way to the sideline initially. Waiting. We're going to say Hurtado on the tackle there. Again, without a spotter up here in the booth, we're at times, especially for those uniforms for Lynnwood, relying on the public address announcer, Tom Davis, who is getting spotted by Paul Keene tonight, the athletic director for Lynnwood. Both of those two guys do a fantastic job up here. They tend to switch off games. One will announce, the other one will spot, and then vice versa. Dahlman, intended receiver, ball is picked off. Ethan Pook got called for the pass interference 2 plays ago. This time comes up with the INT. Lynnwood ball at the 25-yard line. Same two players matched up. Dahlman did a nice job there to try to utilize his size. He's 6'5". Pook is 5'9". Kind of liked what Dahlman did. It almost looked like he cut the route short so that he could almost box him out like a basketball play. However, the ball sailed over his head, and Pook was right behind him there and was able to grab the interception. Lynnwood football. $8:49 to go, third quarter. Handoff, Hooker, 30-yard line, down, 5-yard gain. Should mention the other guys helping us out here tonight. We thought we had a couple of folks coming to run the cameras, and they didn't show up, so our staff, our crew, is actually working the cameras. Angelo Camo, who runs the show at Mountlake Terrace High School, runs the HBN program. He's on one of the cameras right now. Brendan Ursillo, another Mountlake Terrace student on the other one. And speaking of Mountlake Terrace students, Jamie Stockamer. Did I get it right? Stockamer? There we go. Jamie Stockamer running the controls, flipping between the cameras and making sure that we're running smoothly up here in the booth. Baker rolling out to the right, throwing back to the left. Pook wide open. He's got a convoy. He's got blockers. And he's got room to get past midfield. Big gain for the Royals there. Dylan Wallace on the tackle, but not before Pook picks up 23 yards. Baker, as well as the rest of the team, all rolling out to the right. It looked like they were going to set up a play on that side of the field, and Baker looking back. Pook was the only one that didn't go that way, and it left him wide open, along with a few of the blockers on the left side that stayed home also to block downfield for him. Nice play there for the Royals. Already with a 6-point lead, looking for more right now. Handoff to Hooker. Hooker puts the shoulder down. Gets out around the 40-yard line where he's finally dragged down by Xavier Lake. Things are getting a little feisty down there right now. We've got a little bit of jawing going back and forth. It looked like that might have, can't tell if that was on the players that went flying out of bounds together or if maybe the bench was jawing at one of the Terrace players, but nonetheless, the referees are going to sort through some things here. I didn't see a flag, but apparently there must have been one as they are conferencing here.
Dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, number 54. The result will be a first down.
So that was Lake who made the tackle on Hooker on the play, and couldn't tell if it was excessive out at the end of the tackle or maybe there was something said afterwards. Whatever the case, Lake getting called for the penalty. And Lynnwood already with a 6-point lead here, already with an opening drive touchdown to start the second half. Looking for more right now. Hurtado in motion. Baker fakes the handoff, throws down the middle. He's got a man. Poke open, overthrown, incomplete. Pook running a little slant pattern there down the middle of the field, overshot him. Waldrop Leathers in on the coverage, as well as Lake, the linebacker, dropping back.
Xavier Lake with coverage for the Hawks.
Going to bring up a 2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Has the ball at the Terrace 25-yard line. 2nd down, 10 to go.
Hurtado in motion one more time. Fake the handoff to him. Give it to Hooker. Shoulder down, going forward. Mountlake Terrace right there to respond and stop him before he can pick up more than a couple of yards. Caden Hinckley in on the tackle, as well as a few other Hawk players. We got ourselves a good little game going here. See some shout-outs going out right now for Dion Baker. Says Joshua Jerome. Is that Monroe's Joshua Jerome? Who knows? Maybe. Could be out there watching it. Somebody else giving a nice shout-out to Ethan Dunn. Number 5, having a good year. Baker looking to throw one more time over the middle towards the end zone. Incomplete. Tanner Fahey, the intended receiver, and he turned his back away from us up here in the booth for a moment. For a quick second there, I thought he had it, and next thing you know, he's on the ground and the ball's in another spot. So incomplete pass. Brings up a 4th and 8 at the 23-yard line. Kind of in that no man's land territory. You're too far out to kick. The 23, you're certainly not going to punt, so only one thing to do, and that's go for it. That's what Lynnwood's going to do right here. Big play coming up. 6:48 to go, third quarter. 15-yard line or thereabouts is your first down marker. Baker throwing, completing. Nice fundamental football right there. Fahey running an out pattern. Smart wide receiver there. You know you need 8 yards. Run a 9-yard route, cut it out, catch the ball, and move the chains, exactly like you draw it up. Did I mention that I think Valley City College is getting a good one next year? Juliana saying go Royals. Good to see you on there. Got a nice shout out for Tanner. Somebody says that's their grandson. I think that might have been for Tanner. Not sure. Here we go. Another play out to the side. Drag down from below. There's 2 flags come flying there. That's going to be a horse collar against Mountlake Terrace. Again, when you tackle somebody from behind and you grab that jersey or the shoulder pads from right up around the neck area there and you pull them back, no doubt you're going to get that called almost every time. It's a fairly new rule to football over the last few years and one that really did need to be implemented just for the safety of players. Seen over the years too many players with knee injuries or leg injuries from being tackled that way.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle on the defense. That will be enforced half the distance to the goal, and it'll still be first down.
Half the distance to the goal, still first down. Lynnwood continuing to move down the field. Getting not much closer to the goal line, looking to get a 2-touchdown lead right now. First and goal, they're going to mark it at the 5-yard line. Baker's got a touchdown. Hooker's got a touchdown. Monin's in the backfield as well. Kincaid also playing over there to the right. Handoff, I believe that is Kincaid, getting forward to around the 4-yard line. In fact, that is number 54, Gavin Kincaid, getting a carry. And we're going to mark him at the 3. We'll give him 2 on the play. Second and goal coming up.
For the Hawks. Pick up a 2. Royals have it. First and goal to go.
Royals grinding it out right now, eating up some clock, moving down the field, trying to give themselves a 2-possession lead. Again, Mountlake Terrace not exactly a team that is built to catch up from large deficits, so this could be huge right here. Hooker into the end zone. Touchdown, Royals. Anthony Hooker for the second time this half. Same end zone, different possession, and now Lynnwood out to the 18-6 lead with 5:55 to go third quarter. Lynnwood not messing around this time. They're going to go ahead and try the PAT again as Deion Baker into kick. Julius Hudorf on for the hold. Kick is up, and this time the kick is good. So Lynnwood with 19 unanswered points, 13 of which have come here in the third quarter, out to their biggest lead of the night. It is Lynnwood 19, Mountlake Terrace 6. You're watching Hawk TV, HBN. Ethan Dunn retrieving the kickoff as we're back underway. Ethan Dunn finding some room right up the middle, one-handed beat, and dragged down at the 50-yard line. Ethan Pook might have made a touchdown-saving tackle there as Ethan Dunn right up the middle, got a head of steam going, got some momentum. Pook making the tackle there, but not before Dunn returning the kickoff almost 40 yards to midfield. And Mountlake Terrace down by 13, needing some momentum, and perhaps that'll give them what they need right there. We'll see what happens here as the Hawks offense back out onto the field for the second time this half. Continuing to look at the shout-outs here online. I'm seeing a few shout-outs for AJ, and I do have to apologize. I'm not sure which AJ that is. So, nonetheless, good to see people out there watching their grandkids, their nieces, nephews, sons, whoever it might be, as Meek with a carry out to the left there. And that's going to go for a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5 coming up. Oh, Anthony Hooker is AJ. Good to know. So, yeah, you are enjoying this game. Then Grandma, apparently, or is that Grandpa? I can't tell there from my screen there, but somebody's watching their grandson, Anthony Hooker, run all over the Hawks here in the third quarter, and happy that you're able to do that. He certainly looks impressive tonight, as he has all season long. That's going to be a Hawk carry for a first down. And another Mountlake Terrace first down. The chains keep moving here. Caden Carroll getting credit for the carry. Meeks goes running off. That might have been a bit of an equipment issue as the official made that determination for him and sent him off. He's trying to do something with his helmet there, it looks like, or his mask perhaps, can't tell. But regardless, Mountlake Terrace sending a replacement in, and that's who we're going to see carrying the football right here, I believe. Let's see what we got here. Oh, that's going to be Ethan Dunn. Okay, Ethan Dunn with a carry. It was Lorenzo Ipanike, number 7, who ran in for Mountlake Terrace, the junior. I think he came in to replace Meeks. Whatever it was with Meeks that he was working with there, either his helmet or his mask, he gets it fixed, and he runs onto the field, and Ipanike runs off. Dunn picking up 1 yard on the play. It brings up a 2nd and 9. 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Lynnwood with the 13-point lead. A handoff, and right there to meet him in the backfield. Lynnwood Royals, it looks like that was Kigwehi making the tackle. It was. Coming over from that outside linebacker position. Nicely done. Jaquan Harris also out there on the field. He just ran off, the junior. Getting in on the play. Make sure we give out a shout out to him as well. And we are going to make sure we give some love to the seniors here before we end this broadcast tonight. We're going to get a call against Lynnwood here, I would imagine, as it looks like they moved across the neutral zone. So we'll give an encroachment call here.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Will still be third.
It's going to bring up a 3rd and 3. So looking at the rosters here, Mountlake Terrace, some of their seniors, and a number 3, Kobe Davis. I'm using the whole roster. I said number 8, Dylan Wallace. It's number 65 tonight as he switched uniforms. He's a senior. Ethan Dunn, number 5. Got Elijah Dahlman, number 11. Jay Nath, number 22. Caden Loyals, number 50. Number 65, Eddie Dodgen. Caden Hickson, also a senior. I'll say who's not a senior. Mr. Jones, they're running up the middle of the freshman, powering forward for another first down. That's going to move the chains one more time. Solani Tonga, big number 77, a senior. And Angel Rodriguez, number 99, a senior. So, again, best wishes to all of them moving forward on their final game of their high school careers. Mountlake Terrace on the run one more time here, 23-yard line. Trying to make this a one-possession game, trying to get back into it here. Hand off to Jones one more time. Gets into the red zone past the 20, down around the 17-yard line, a gain of around 6. We're going to get a timeout here. We're going to keep it right here for a moment. Lynnwood, a young team. They don't have a lot of seniors either. Matter of fact, they have fewer seniors. Sean Monin, Tanner Fahey, number 14, Blake Norman. Hold on just one moment here.
It's all season on the sidelines, donating his time to be here. That's Dr. Shu. We'd like to thank him for all his efforts, volunteering to be our on-field doctor. Thank you, Dr. Shu.
Nice shout out there from Tom Davis for the doctor, Dr. Shu, who volunteers his time to work the sidelines during these games. Blake Norman, also, by the way, a senior, number 14 for Lynnwood. I think Blake was the birthday boy last week, if I remember right. We gave him a birthday shout out on the air. Isaac Hernandez, number 60. David Livingstone the fourth. Your starting center for Lynnwood. He is number 62. Jamie McDougall, number 72. We've had a chance to call his name out a little bit this year, and his mom has helped us on the camera a few different games. We appreciate that. Number 75, Blake Reed Henderson. And that is it in terms of seniors for Lynnwood. So again, two fairly young teams, Lynnwood in particular. Just a handful of seniors there. So perhaps both of these teams looking to get a victory tonight, looking to get momentum and to carry that into the fall. And as we mentioned during our earlier broadcast tonight, not used to seeing football seasons end on April 1st. It's only a couple months away from spring practices in June, and then we get right back and ready to go again come August or September. Ethan Dunn looking to cut the edge, gets out through the 10-yard line, around the 7, where he's finally tackled. Big gain there for the Hawks. Blake Norman, we just mentioned his name a minute ago. Nice job getting the tackle there, saving a touchdown. A 9-yard pickup for Dunn, and Mountlake Terrace is in business here all of a sudden with 2:07 to go. Third quarter, and if Mountlake Terrace can score here, they can get this deficit down to a one-possession game. We're going to have ourselves a heck of a fourth quarter. Cole Waldrop Leathers, the quarterback, under center. He's got Jones and Dunn in the backfield. Gives it to Jones. Jones continues to fight forward. Barrels his way into the end zone. The freshman with 2 touchdowns tonight. Touchdown, Mountlake Terrace Hawks. A star is born, Xavier Jones. 6 foot, 220 freshman. Bad news for the rest of Wesco. He may not be done growing yet. Mountlake Terrace making this a 7-point game, and they can make it a 6-point game with the extra point. And the kick is wide left. That was Camden Disney out to try the extra point attempt from the hold of Waldrop Leathers. But nonetheless, we've got a 7-point game now. 1:37 to go, third quarter. You don't want to go anywhere. We'll be right back with the conclusion of the third quarter, and then we'll get you underway for the final 8 minutes of the football season. You're watching Hawk TV, HBN. That last play, the Mountlake Terrace touchdown, was an 8-play, 50-yard drive. Took 4 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock. Angel Rodriguez set to kick off. Lynnwood coming up and catching that ball, falling forward. Chandler Olves, the freshman, getting his name called out there. Nicely done. Sean Monin just getting a nice little shout out there from Big Sis Riley. Says hi, Shawnee. So we'll give Riley a nice call out there. Heck of a volleyball player for the Royals back in the day. Riley, where are you at these days? Are you playing volleyball somewhere? Give us a reply, would you? Bailey Leatherwood says, go Sean, happy birthday. Is it Sean's birthday? Is that Sean Monin? you can give us some clarification on that too. So here we go again, getting down into the later part of the game. And look at this. Is this? Oh, that's Deion Baker. Okay, I thought maybe we had a different player in there for a moment. Baker getting up around the 43-yard line. Really enjoy watching his athleticism. He's going to be scary for the next couple of years. I know in talking to Keontae Bankhead over the last few weeks, mentioned that he's a guy that even if he's not in at quarterback, he's just somebody that he wants on the field. There's too much athleticism not to have him out there doing something and making contributions. Lake Stevens pouring it on Glacier Peak right now, 49-28. Anthony Hooker cutting it out to the right, cuts it back more towards the middle, picks up a first down. He's finally brought down at the 47-yard line, moves the chains one more time. Oh, Riley Monin let me know that she's coaching JV over at Nathan Hale. Coaching at a club and at Nathan Hale High School as a JV coach. Well, good for you. I had a chance to interview her on our video show that we did a few years back, or a couple years back, covering high school sports in the area. And I said had a very good athletic career of her own at Lynnwood, and now little brother's doing the same thing. Mountlake Terrace showing blitz. Baker eluding a couple of guys, getting out past the 50, fumbles the football onto the ground. I think Mountlake Terrace has it. Let's wait for the signal. In fact, they do. Xavier Lake coming up with the football as Deion Baker initially made a fantastic football play there. And somebody's pretty banged up there. Is that Baker coming off the field? Deion Baker holding that hand closely to his side there. He is in pain right now. And Hawks came in with a blitz, and Baker did a nice job just to elude it, ran out to the right, picked up positive yards, and while he was trying to lunge forward, that ball came squirting out, and Mountlake Terrace down by 7. They've got the football once again. 45 seconds to go here in the third quarter. And I hate to see it. Yeah, Baker is in a lot of pain right now, holding that wrist on the sideline, so we'll keep an eye on that. Zevian Jones one more time. The tank crosses midfield, picks up about 7 or 8 yards on the play. We'll have to maybe get a Zevian Jones stat report for the from Doug Podrowski once we get to the break here.
Second down, 2 to go after the 8-yard pickup.
Apparently it is, I'm being told on the internet here, it is Sean Monin's birthday today. Okay, well, happy birthday, number 7. Hoping to help his team get a victory here as we're looking at possibly the final play of the third quarter. Jones getting stacked up, leans forward just enough to get back to the line of scrimmage. Jonathan Lucio in on the tackle, and the clock now showing triple zeros. We're now down to the final, perhaps the final 8 minutes of the season. Who knows, the way this game is going, we might have a little extra time at the end. We'll find out, but right now we're looking at a 19-12 Lynnwood lead. You do not want to go anywhere. You are watching Hawk TV HBN. And we're back for the fourth quarter of action here at Edmond Stadium. Lynnwood with the 19-12 lead. Mountlake Terrace, however, with the football and the momentum. And they're looking at a 3rd and 2 coming up here to start things off. Here we go. Ethan Dunn takes the handoff in the backfield. Nowhere to go. Dunn dragged it back from behind. See who that was on the tackle. Jaquan Harris getting the tackle. They're saving a first down. If Harris doesn't pull him down from behind there, I think Dunn probably has at least enough for the first down and then some. 4th and 3 coming up for they're showing 4th and 3 on the board. That looks more like a 4th and 4 at the very least. Call it a 4th and 4. They need to get to the 47-yard line of Lynnwood. 11:22 to go in the game. Terrace trailing by 7. See what they elect to do here right now. Handoff up the middle. The freshman does it. Xavier Jones, the go-to guy tonight. The freshman with 2 touchdowns already. Now he's got a big first down. Now Lake Stevens up on Glacier Peak right now, 56-28. I actually thought Glacier Peak was maybe the team this year that was going to break Lake Stevens' streak, but not tonight. Everybody was billing that as the game of the year, and it turns out it's one-sided like it tends to be sometimes for Lake Stevens. Mountlake Terrace, first down. Here we go one more time. Ethan Dunn trying to get to the corner, stepping up to make a tackle. Jordan Whittle, not going to happen. No, Blake Norman, my apologies. My apologies to Blake, last week's birthday boy. Took the angle, cut that one off very quickly. A loss of 1 on the play. And I'm being told now that Xavier Jones is at the 100-yard mark tonight. 18 carries for 100 yards for the freshman. Here come the Hawks. Hey, Automatic Ivan watching tonight. Former kicker for the Hawks. Soccer player as well. Rooting on that Terrace defense earlier. It must have worked. They got the turnover. Hawks with a little misdirection. Nipanike getting the carry. His first one of the night, number 7. Lunges ahead for a few yards on the play. Not much, though. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 8. We'll give him 3 yards on the carry. Clock continues to run, 9:34. This is 4-down territory right now, unless you lose yardage in a big way here. Mountlake Terrace, no doubt, looking at more than likely 2 plays to get 8 yards for a first down. Shifting things around a bit, some confusion as Waldrop Leathers, the quarterback, comes up to the line, gets under center, looking to pass, rolling out to the right. He's got some time, trying to guide Nath. He throws it over the head of the defender. Beautifully done. Probably the best play I've seen Cole Waldrop Leathers run all season on the offensive side of things. Smart play there. He rolled out, had the composure to actually direct Nath with his hand. Nath had kind of cut off his route, was being covered up by the defender, and he kind of waved at Nath like, keep going, go down the field. And Nath broke away from the defender, got open, and Waldrop just very casually threw it over the defender's head. Completion, first down. Mountlake Terrace on a move here. Handoff to Jones one more time, down to the 22-yard line. Mountlake Terrace continuing to push the ball down the field. .8:26 and counting. Here we go. Hawks taking their time right now. No need to rush yet. At some point here, the clock does become the enemy, but right now you've got plenty of time. Jones lined up behind the quarterback. Dunn right next to him. Dunn with a handoff. Dunn being met at the line there, and defender jumps on and goes for a ride there. I think that might have been number 5, Gagwehi. Give him credit for the tackle, but he certainly got spun around a little bit like he was on a roller coaster before he was able to make the tackle. 3rd and 3 to go here, 21-yard line. Third and 3. Dunn and Jones both in the backfield. Handoff goes to Jones. Jones carries another defender. Flag comes flying in. That might be a face mask. Let's see what they call here. Referee threw that right where the tackle was being made, so that's almost definitely against the defense when that happens. So let's see what they call here. That would put Mountlake Terrace, put them half the distance to the goal. That would put them around the 8 or 7 yard line. Let's see what they say here.
Face mask on the defense. That'll be a 5-yard penalty added to the end of the run. It'll be a first down.
So the 5-yard variety. So there's 2 there. It's one that'll take it 5 yards. So Mountlake Terrace, the ball's going to be placed right outside the 10-yard line, which means technically it's not going to be a first and goal. You can get another first down right around the goal line, right inside the 1-yard line. But nonetheless, Mountlake Terrace very close to getting in the end zone. And the question now becomes, if you're the Hawks and you haven't been able to convert a PAT all year, you score a touchdown here. Are you trying to kick for the tie, or are you going for 2 for the lead? Ethan Dunn trying to get the corner, reaches for the pylon. Touchdown, Mountlake Terrace. Ethan Dunn from 11 yards out. Got the angle, saw the pylon, dove towards it. His second touchdown of the season, and Mountlake Terrace now down 19-18, 6:41 to go. And the decision is going to be needed to be made right here. What are the Hawks going to do? Do you go for 2? Do you go for the lead? Do you try to kick the PAT? You've struggled in that area this year. Not that you've had a lot of opportunities, but... And Mountlake Terrace decides they want to think about it here for a moment. I have a feeling they're not thinking about whether or not they want to go for it or not. It's probably more or less they're thinking about what play they want to run here. So stick around. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just a second and bring you the exciting conclusion to not only this drive, but this game. You're watching Hawk TV HBN. And we're back right now at Edmond Stadium. Hopefully you've been watching this game. It's an exciting one. If you're like Dave Koschik, a Mountlake Terrace alum, you're just tuning in for the first time tonight, and you've picked an ideal time to do so. Mountlake Terrace just scoring a touchdown, making it a 19-18 game. Hawks are 0 for 2 on conversions tonight. They just called a timeout. They're going to go for 2 right now. This is for the lead. Convert this, you take a 1-point lead. If you miss it, Lynnwood holds, and Lynnwood keeps the lead 19-18 with 6:41 to go. Let's see what they drew up here. Waldrop Leathers. Hands off to Jones, the big fellow, lunging towards the end zone. He's in! Mountlake Terrace takes the lead. The freshman making sure everyone knows his name tonight. 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing, and now he's got a 2-point conversion to add to that list. Mountlake Terrace down by 13 points just a few minutes ago. Back-to-back touchdown drives, and for the first time in the second half, they've got the lead. This is a Mountlake Terrace team. I've got to say it again, 0-4 this season. Not only 4 losses, but they've only scored 12 points all season. Two of those shutout losses coming with running clocks in which they were down by more than 40 points. And if you were to have asked for a prediction before this game, I think anybody who's been following these two teams would have said that Lynnwood was probably a fairly heavy favorite to win this game. Well, Lynnwood only 1-3 on the year, but nonetheless, they've had some strong showings in some of their other games. They barely lost to Meadowdale 2 weeks ago, 13-7. And now Lynnwood, after scoring the first 13 points of the half, they've watched Mountlake Terrace come back and score the last 14. We've got whistles blowing here, and this might be a delay of game. That took a while here. Let's see what the call is. I'll be curious to hear what happened there because I hate to be critical here, but why would you take a delay of game coming off of a 2-point conversion? You know you're going to be sending your kickoff team on. In a 1-point game, the last thing you want to do is give away free yardage, and that's exactly what the Hawks just did. As the Mountlake Terrace cheerleaders are doing 20 push-ups for 20 points. Better them than me right now. I'd rather not be doing push-ups, and then again, I'm a little bit older than they are. As Rodriguez with the kickoff. Ball's going to be fielded around the 25, dropped initially. I believe that's Gagwehi. Looking for a little room there on the left side. Gets it out past the 40, and now Lynnwood with the football. 6:34 to go here. And if you're tuning in late, Mountlake Terrace getting on the board with a 6-0 lead in the first quarter. Lynnwood answering in the second quarter. We went to the break with a 6-6 tie. Lynnwood then coming out, scoring on their first 2 possessions of the third quarter. At that point, they went up 19-6, and we thought, well, maybe this is not Mountlake Terrace's night once again. A Mountlake Terrace team that had only scored 3 touchdowns all year, then down by 13. And lo and behold, Hawks getting themselves right back into it right now taking the lead. The pitch out to Hooker. Hooker looking to run with a little authority. The Hawks stepping up and closing that rough very quickly. Landon Woolley making the tackle, as did Jay Nath. And in all this excitement and the drive for Mountlake Terrace, we kind of forgot that we were having a quarterback issue there. Again, if you just tuned in, Dion Baker, the starting quarterback for Lynnwood, on the last play that he ran, he fumbled the ball on the play, hurt his hand. He's got ice on his hand right now. Trainers are looking at it. So Julius Hudorf, who was the starting quarterback before tonight, now back in on the field. A handoff there. Lynnwood looking to push up the middle, out past the 45-yard line. Ahead to the 46. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 4. Hooker with another carry. We asked Keontae Bankhead about this during a radio interview I did with him 3 weeks ago, mentioning that he seemed comfortable bringing in Hudorf and Baker and playing them off of each other a little bit, and said it was a nice thing to have, an issue with where you have 2 quarterbacks. He said there's been years where didn't know if he had 1, and now he has 2, and he feels confident in both. And sure enough, he's going to need that from Hudorf right now to bring this team back. Over the middle, pass complete. The birthday boy, Sean Monin, dragged down from behind, down at the 30-yard line. Kobe Davis in on the tackle. Monin picking up 23 yards on the play. Lynnwood on the roll now. Under 5 minutes to go. Monin, believe, and Doug can correct me here, I think that might be Monin's first catch of the night.
Third
catch of the night. Okay, I was close. Only off by 2. Okay, here we go. So Monin, we've been calling his name a lot on defense. I wasn't sure about the offensive side of things, and I guess I should have known he had some catches. He's too good of an athlete. But here we go again. Hudorf looking towards the end zone for the lead. Tanner Fahey in and out of his hands. That's something you don't see very often. Over 120 catches in his Lynnwood career, over 1,500 yards. I think of all the plays he's made at Lynnwood, that might be the one he wants back right there. Getting behind the defender and just couldn't quite come down with that football. .435 to go. What a way to end the season for us here on the broadcast. Might have saved the best game for last. Handoff, Hooker, past the 30. Stiff arms one tackler, gets ahead to the 25-yard line. Xavier Lake on the tackle. Give Lake a little credit there, as he was the one that got initially stiff-armed and stayed with it and finally brought him down, but not before Hooker gets ahead for a 5-yard gain, maybe a 6-yard gain even. 4-down territory right now. You're certainly not looking at a field goal attempt at this point. Neither team, to be honest, very comfortable probably with the kicking game tonight. It's going to be about trying to get this one into the end zone. 3:51 to go. High snap, pass, ball's batted down, incomplete. There's a scramble for the football, but it's not going to matter. That was a pass. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. 3:44 showing on the clock. Big play coming up right here, and the Lynnwood fans recognize it as well, as do the Terrace fans. We're starting to get a little noise here. Definitely a bigger crowd tonight than we've seen over the last few weeks, and they're getting on their feet a little bit, making some noise. Big play here. Possibly the play of the game. 4th and 4. Hudorf looks to pass. He's blitzed. Down goes the quarterback. Jay Nathan on the tackle, as is Xavier Lake. Hudorf is down at the 30, and the Hawks take over the possession with 3:40 to go. And you hate to see this, but got to point this out here in just a moment. Make sure we got the names right here. Darian Richardson, number 64. He wasn't originally on the roster this year. I'm not sure the story there, but Darian Richardson, he and a few teammates were jumping up and down and celebrating on the far side of the field, and Richardson went down very awkwardly on his leg. And I can't see where he is right now, but it did not look good initially there, so hopefully he's okay. But handoff up the middle. Jones one more time. Don't see anybody. Oh, yeah, he is definitely down over there still. So they're attending to him over on the sideline. But Richardson, the starting defensive end for Mountlake Terrace tonight. 3-yard pickup there for Jones. Again, 2 timeouts left. I can't stress it enough. Down by 13. A lot of times when you see teams fall down by 13, you don't think that much of it, but I hate to say this and put this on the Hawks, but when you're down by 13 and you've scored 3 touchdowns through 4.5 games, it's usually game over for you. And here the Hawks have come all the way back, taking the lead and still looking for more here. Done! Carrying the pile all the way down to the 48-yard line. Hawks are feeling it right now. 2:46 to go. They move the chains one more time. Clock running right now. Coach Umayam, not too big of a hurry to run any more plays than he needs to right now. By the way, got to give a shout out to Keith Willie, class of '89 for Mountlake Terrace, the offensive coordinator. You know, with injuries and other things going on in this team and players opting out, another key player transferring. If they end the season with a 2019 victory, that's huge going into next year as Xavier Jones with another carry off the left side. Doug, we're going to go down to you right now. Any news on or any stats for Mr. Jones there tonight?
Yeah, I have Devonian Jones up to 22 carries, 116 yards.
As a freshman.
Yeah.
And he's got a 2-point conversion too, so nicely done. Thank you, Doug. 22 carries, 116 yards. Really impressed with what we're seeing out of him tonight. Clock ticking there. Mountlake Terrace is going to let that play clock go down as low as they can. Hand off to Dunn. Dunn looks to cut it back to the middle. Looked like he wanted to try to sprint up towards the sideline and remembered that, hey, if I do that, if I go out of bounds, that clock stops. He very wisely cuts it back in. Only picks up about a yard on the play, but it's a yard in which Lynnwood is forced to call a timeout. Lynnwood down to 1 timeout left. If Mountlake Terrace can get a first down here, it's pretty much game over. 1:25 showing on the clock. Looks like Mountlake Terrace dealing with a cramp issue too on the far side as we try to see who that is. It's Jay Nath going down and getting that stretched out a little bit. See Darian Richardson sitting over there on the bench, but can't really see how he's doing there. He was the young man who went down with a He went down very awkwardly with a leg injury after celebrating that big play a few minutes ago. And we're getting more shout-outs here for players. Keena Tonga giving a nice shout-out to number 77. Automatic Ivan reminding me that back in the day, Mountlake Terrace was always going for one when he was kicking. Yeah, you had a special career there, Ivan. Automatic Ivan. Good to hear from you there. Hope everything's going well in your life. Jones up the middle, short of the first down. Big play coming up now. Lynnwood's going to burn the final timeout. So here's what we're looking at right now. Depending on where they spot this, and it looks like they're going to spot it right around the 44-yard line. Fourth down and maybe a yard and a half. Lynnwood out of timeouts after this. So again, if Mountlake Terrace converts this play, if they get a first down on this play right here, the game is pretty much over. All the Hawks would have to do then is take two different snaps, take a knee, drop to a knee both times, and they walk out of here with a 20-19 victory. If they don't convert, Lynnwood's going to get the football back with about a minute 15 to go, as the clock now showing a minute 20. And then they would have a chance to go down the field. Now, keep in mind also, Lynnwood, number one, out of timeouts. And number two, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful for anybody, but if we're being very honest, I wouldn't want to be either one of these teams down by one right now and have to rely on my kicking game. We haven't seen it from either team tonight. Dion Baker did, in fact, convert a PAT, but nonetheless, I don't think either team is going to feel overly comfortable sending on their team to kick a game-winning field goal tonight anyway. So if Lynnwood can come up with a stop, they're still going to have to go 50-plus yards to get a victory. But here we go right now, Mountlake Terrace. Again, a first down, a 2-yard pickup here, and the game's pretty much over, and the Hawks have their first win of the year. Let's see what happens. Handoff to Dunn. Dunn cuts it towards the middle. He's stopped. He's going to be stopped short. Sean Monin, the birthday boy, coming up big. He's been a big-time player this year. And things are going to get exciting here, folks. A minute 14 to go. Lynnwood down by a point. No timeouts left. Could be a storybook ending here. Your starting quarterback from tonight out with an injury. Dion Baker still on the sideline. Julius Hudorf, the junior, trying to make some magic happen here. Let's see what we do. Let's see, 74 seconds left. Hudorf rolling out, throws it into the flats. Can't tell if that ball was completed or not. They're going to say incomplete. Fahey's trying to argue that he caught it. Landon Woolley came over to make the play. Ball was a little bit high. Fahey reached up initially and kind of bobbled it and was trying to bring it back down as he was trying to tip it to himself. Again, the ball was thrown a little bit over his head, and right as he was bringing the ball in, Woolley made contact, and I think they might have said that he caught the ball out of bounds. So 6 seconds tick off the clock. We're now down to a minute 8. Lynnwood with 4 receivers. They bring 3 over to the right. Hudorf jumps back to pass. Takes off running. Fakes the defender out. Nicely done by Hudorf. It's amazing what a little fake like that can do. He was already past the line of scrimmage, and he raised his arm up, faked the defensive player out, and ran right by him. And all of a sudden, they're in business here. He's down to the 37-yard line. Lynnwood first down, ran out of bounds, killed the clock. 59 seconds to go. Call your friends, call your neighbors, let them know Mountlake Terrace Lynnwood coming right down to the wire tonight. It's a rivalry game. Neither one of these teams likes to lose to the other. Both of these teams looking to end their season on a high note. Both of these teams looking to build momentum into next year. Who's it going to be? Here we go. Lynnwood, Hudorf, blitzed, Nath coming off the corner, the tackle, the fumble, the recovery. Is it Mountlake Terrace football? It's Mountlake Terrace football. Jay Nath made the contact, didn't see who made the recovery. The Hawks are celebrating a very improbable victory tonight. Trying to watch it here again. Nath made contact. Keep in mind, Nath was the one that was in on that sack earlier on 4th down that turned the ball back over.
Mountlake Terrace takes over possession after the 17.
And I can't state it enough. I did not give the Hawks much of a chance coming in here tonight. They've really been struggling this year. They lost to Shorewood last week 6-0, the same Shorewood team that Lynnwood beat by 27 points 3 weeks ago. And yet somehow, some way, down by 13 in the third quarter, Mountlake Terrace is going to walk out of here with their first victory of the year. Unbelievable. Cole Waldrop taking a knee right now. They're going to have to do that one more time. Hawks had been shut out in 3 of their previous 4 games this season. And the game they weren't shut out, they lost 28-12 to Cedar Crest. If you're a Lynnwood fan, however, there's a Lynnwood, a very young team. There's a lot of great players out there making plays that are coming back next year. But nonetheless, can't say it enough again. Best game we've seen so far this year. I thought the Lynnwood Meadowdale game 2 weeks ago was going to be tough to beat. A game in which Ian Newsom picked off a pass with 7 minutes to go and ran it back for the winning touchdown. But hard to beat a 1-point game, especially when one team comes from 13 down. Team that struggled on offense all year. So what a performance, what a finish, and what a way to end a football season on April Fool's Day of all things. So I have a feeling that people are going to see the score later and maybe think it's a joke. It is not. We're watching the players shake hands right now. We're watching the players come off. A lot of takeaways from this game. We'll turn towards the camera here really quick. I guess the first name that comes to mind tonight, Zevion Jones, the freshman. Over 120 yards rushing, 22 carries. Yeah, he's legit. He looks like he's the real deal moving forward. Mountlake Terrace coming through with some big plays on defense in the third quarter. Offense finally got rolling 2 consecutive possessions. They come away with a victory. And for Lynnwood, again, I'm going to say a few different things here. Number one, some of your seniors, outstanding. You look at guys like Monin. You look at guys like Fahey. Anthony Hooker, very impressive. I really like what we saw from Dion Baker tonight. Only a sophomore. We certainly hope he's not seriously hurt with the wrist injury. He's a player that if he comes back here and if he's fully healed in the fall, they've got 2 more years of him. And again, this Lynnwood roster, as you start to look down it, you look in that grade category, you don't see very many 12s. Not a lot of seniors out there. So a young team that's going to come back, they're going to be fine. They're going to build on some of the successes they had during the course of the year. It may not show in the wins and losses column, but you know what? Plenty of positives. So, again, final score tonight, Mountlake Terrace 20, Lynnwood 19. I'm going to ask Jamie not to sign off just quite yet. We did that last week on accident. Want to bring on Doug Podrowski one more time. Doug, if you're down there, give us some stats. What do you have there as you start to add things up?
Yes, another very close game, and reflective in the stats. Mountlake Terrace had 18 first downs. Lynnwood had 17 first downs. Lynnwood actually gained more total yardage, 279 to Mountlake Terrace's 239. But they had 3 turnovers. 2 second-half fumbles. Individual stats, the rushing leader tonight was, of course, Davian Jones. I have him for 23 carries, 120 yards. But you can't overlook Ethan Dunn either, his teammate.
Good point. Thank you for bringing that up.
16 carries, 83 yards.
Oof. Some hard-fought yards, too. He's a senior, too, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Absolutely. Lynnwood did well rushing the ball. Before Dion got hurt, Dion Baker had 65 yards carrying the ball, and Hooker, Anthony Hooker, had another 62 yards. But, turnovers killed them. 2 of their final 3 possessions ended in fumbles. The other possession was a turnover on downs.
Oh, by the way, I'm being told here that Adam Wallace recovered that fumble at the end. He's a freshman, so another freshman making a big play, so we want to make sure we give a shout out to them. But
freshmen contributing for the Hawks
in a big way tonight. Both the fumble recovery from Wallace, whose dad Jody is one of the coaches there, and again Zevian Jones. I think we're going to be saying his name a few more times. and you know what? And I will say this as I'm looking at the roster here, and I might have misspoke a little bit. Anthony Hooker, only a junior. I think both of these teams are in pretty good hands next year as far as having fullbacks or tailbacks who can carry the ball.
And we certainly expect the coaching staffs to be back. Don't see any changes at Lynnwood or Mountlake Terrace in coaching. So, looking forward to seeing them this fall.
I think both Mountlake Terrace and Lynnwood are very happy to keep Tony Umayam and Keontae Bankhead around for a little bit.
Yes.
All right. Well, Doug, thank you again. Hey, for the last few weeks, you've been our statistician. Helped me out immensely. So I can't thank you enough for that. So thanks for doing that for us.
Appreciate the opportunity to get out of the house and enjoy some high school action.
Now we just need to, on behalf of Teresa Whipple, we just need to talk you out of retirement and have you write some more articles, right? Not going to happen yet?
I'm kind of enjoying retirement, but I'm not leaving the door completely shut. We'll see what happens in September.
I don't blame you one bit. Well, again, Doug Podrowski, thank you very much. And I think we'll throw to the camera here one more time. I'll look over at Jamie here. And again, we want to mention these folks one more time here. Jamie's, I'm going to do it again. Stockemer, running the boards right now. Angelo Camo out there running the camera. Brendan Orsillo. Earlier tonight, we had Justin Barsness and Marilyn Aubert helping us out. So again, a great crew from Mountlake Terrace High School, making it possible during a pandemic for us to broadcast football games and other sporting events. Certainly did a few, our share of girls soccer games here at Edmond Stadium this year. So again, during a pandemic when either people are not able to attend games due to the fact that for a while there were restrictions on coming in at all, or even now either being restricted based on the lack of numbers or just people not comfortable in coming back yet. And we get that as well. Happy to be able to do this and bring you this action. And again, ended on a high note tonight. So certainly final score 20-19. And oh, by the way, socially distanced up here. We got the window open. My mask is going on in just a moment, I promise. So again, for everybody involved with the broadcast tonight, we thank you for watching. The final score here in the final football game of the spring of 2021. Sounds weird, doesn't it? Your final score, Mountlake Terrace 20, Lynnwood 19. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.